Hi, I'm Kathleen. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk with you about color palettes and how to harmonize your color palette. One mistake that I see a lot of beginners make is that they use their paint colors straight out of the tubes, and those colors don't always go together well. Sometimes they end up just competing on the canvas for attention, and it's because they're all just too saturated. They're too, which refers to actually the intensity or the brightness of them, if you want to think about them that way. And the way I used to use color was like a lot of beginners, where I used colors. I would choose beautiful intense colors and use them straight out of the tube, and I had way too many bright colors in my paintings. They were all competing for attention. My paintings didn't feel soft and harmonious. Sometimes they felt too muted, but the problem wasn't that I didn't have any saturated colors in them. It's that my colors didn't go together. They were all competing for attention. If you are walking through a garden, what catches your attention? Usually just the most beautiful, brightest colors, the most saturated colors in the garden are breathtaking. But if we look at a bouquet like this, there's also a lot of really muted colors in here. So we have a lot of both saturated and unsaturated colors, and it is the unsaturated duller colors that make the saturated colors just pop and really be the star of the show and be beautiful. And that's the same with our paintings. I want you to come away from this video today having a different idea of how to paint and how to use color together so that your paintings feel a little bit more sophisticated and successful. So we're going to get into that. So I'm going to go ahead and set up, and I'm going to give you a little demo on harmonizing a palette and how I do it, and then I'm going to walk through how I painted this painting, and we'll take a look at the details and the color in this as well. Most art supply brands make a version of a buff color, which is an off-white, usually kind of a nice neutral, sometimes a little on the warmer side. So Utrecht here has this buff white. This is more of a tannish off-white color, a little bit darker than the rest of these. Golden has this Titan buff. I've got paint on it, but it's called Titan buff. This is a great neutral white color. Love that color. Also unbleached titanium by Liquitex. Again, I've gotten paint on this, but it's unbleached titanium. This one is what I'm going to be using in this video. Artist Loft by Michael's Stores also has this unbleached titanium. And then Liquitex makes parchment also, which is very similar to their unbleached titanium, except the unbleached titanium is slightly warmer. I use both of these colors. They're wonderful. I even mix my own sometimes, and as you can see with this one, the color I painted onto the lid, so I know what color this is. We're not going to be making our own this time. This is something that I enjoy doing. Sometimes I mix all different shades of off-white and for different results with my palette. But we're not going to get into that right now. So we're going to just focus on unbleached titanium today and how to harmonize your color palette using that color. I'm going to start this demo by putting down my colors straight from the tube. So here I've got a deep violet color. This is a phthalo blue. Here we have a light olive green, quinacridone magenta, cadmium orange, and a lemon yellow. For my second row, I'm going to mix titanium white in with my colors in order to lighten them. This is something that a lot of artists do, but titanium white is actually a very cool, stark white. So it can have the unintended consequence of changing the temperature of some of your colors. It can also really brighten some of your colors. There is an alternative called transparent mixing white. We're not going to get into that today because we're talking about color harmony. I'm going to finish out this row with titanium white, which is probably the most popular white that most artists use anyway. And then we're going to move on to what happens when I use unbleached titanium instead of titanium white. And here, as I put a little bit of that titanium white down on my paper, you can see how bright it actually is. And now here's my unbleached titanium. And as you can see, it is a nice off-white color. It's got a little bit of warmth to it, but really a very neutral color. And I'm going to start mixing that now with my other colors, starting with that deep violet color. And you can already see how this unbleached titanium really mutes this color. And now here's the phthalo blue mixed with the unbleached titanium. Moving on to the light olive green. And the lemon yellow. And the quinacridone magenta. And I love how the unbleached titanium mutes this color. It's such a beautiful kind of a muted rosy color now. And lastly, the cadmium orange. So now you can see a close-up, and if you look at that top row, those colors are all straight out of the tube. They're beautiful, but they're all so bright and so saturated, and in a painting, they would all just really compete for attention. So now in the second row, the colors that were lightened with the titanium white, they remind me of Easter egg colors, especially the purple. That color that was that deep violet is now a really bright saturated purple color, as well as, well, the blue, and then that quinacridone magenta is almost a hot pink. So these colors just don't really feel very sophisticated to me, which is why in the third row I used the unbleached titanium. This very small amount of unbleached titanium in all of these colors really makes them feel harmonious together and will look beautiful in a painting. One thing that really helps me to plan out my paintings and the colors that I'm going to use is to make pages of color swatches. And I do this by mixing the colors that I think I'm going to want to use in my paintings, and I simply just start mixing and harmonizing the colors so I can see what results I will get using those colors in my paintings. And now you can see that my palette here consists of both muted colors and then also some more saturated colors, such as the quinacridone magenta, that one right there, and then this green right here. I won't be using all of these colors, but I do love seeing what's possible. So now I'm going to move on to my painting. I like to start my canvases by laying down a coat of paint, and this creates a nice base color so I'm not painting just on a white canvas. And now it's time to add the greenery. I like to apply the greenery with a silicone tool and then use a filbert brush to soften the edges. And if you want more information on how I use this Princeton brand Catalyst silicone wedge, I will link another video at the end of this video that goes into that a lot more. Okay, now I'm going in with white. And the way I use white is I like to think of it as its own color that does have a place on my palette. And in this case, I'm using it to create petal shapes. And now I'm layering in some more petals, and this time I'm using phthalo blue and some muted tints that I made with the phthalo blue and the unbleached titanium. And now I'm coming in with a gorgeous violet color that I mixed using quinacridone magenta and a little bit of that phthalo blue, and of course the unbleached titanium. Here I'm switching to a small round brush. This is a #1 round brush, and I love to add little squiggly lines and details to my paintings with this brush. And now here's that titanium white again. And again, in this case, not mixing it with any other colors, but letting it be its own color on my painting. Now I'm just gonna finish up with a little bit of pink and some pretty warm red colors that I've mixed. And here's the final painting inspired by my bouquet. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.